Hey everybody, I'm Dave, and today I'm going to be replacing the filters in my water filtration unit that I installed here in my fifth wheel camper. Now, the water filtration that I installed was the PD600 from a company called Frizzlife. Now, I went with this particular water filtration unit because it fits right underneath my cabinets here underneath the sink. So in a fifth wheel RV, space is really limited. So this unit is pretty small and compact, goes right underneath. I've had it installed for about a year, year and a half. So it's time to change the filters. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with reverse osmosis filtration units, RO water, reverse osmosis, is the cleanest water that you can get. It's stripped of everything. All the chlorine's taken out, fluoride, bacteria, viruses. It's far superior to bottled water because bottled water is basically just filtered tap. And then when you buy cases of bottled water, most of that plastic ends up in the ocean, and that's no good. Don't want to do that. So went with the Frizzlife PD600 unit. They sent me a couple filters. Got two of them today. This one is just the regular filter. This is the RO filter. This one lasts about a year. This one lasts about 2 years. So I'm going to replace both these today. I'm going to take you underneath the sink, show you how easy it is to swap these out. So here's where I installed the unit, just right underneath my sink. So we'll pull it out, remove the cover, and these filters just spin and pull out. So now I'm ready to install the new filters. So this one goes on top. It's labeled number 1. The RO filter labeled number 2. We'll flush the system. Takes a minute to flush. Got the drain running up here. It's always good to flush filters after you've changed them. So I've reset both the filters and then I flushed the unit, and you can see that it's reading 14 TDS. Now TDS is total dissolved solids, so 14 is pretty good. So this thing's working properly. We're gonna let this do its thing. You have to let these filters kind of acclimate for about 10 to 20 minutes, and then the water should be good to drink. We'll reinstall the cover. Slide the unit back in place. Close up the cabinet. So both the filters were pretty easy to replace. So now I'm going to fill this up, show you how easy it is to use. With this Frizzlife unit, I can turn it on, put the bottle underneath there, and this turns so I can leave it on the counter and let it fill up, and I don't have to sit there and hold it. Now I will say this, it's good for you to stand there and monitor it because I have walked away and flooded the countertops. Once this is filled up, turn it off, run the spigot right here, and I'm good to go. I'm inside a fifth wheel camper and we have tanks. So there's a septic tank and 2 water tanks. Now when these tanks fill up, you have to dump them. And sometimes when you camp, you might not be hooked up to sewer, so you might not be able to dump your tanks. So most reverse units, when they make reverse water, they have to produce wastewater. And general rule of thumb, for 1 glass of pure RO water, it wastes 2 glasses of water. So the reason why I went with the PD600 unit is it's much more efficient. I believe for every glass of water, it produces like a half a glass of waste, which is one of the reasons why I went with this unit, because I knew it wasn't gonna fill my tanks up with the wastewater as I was using drinking water. So very pleased with the unit. This will be my 2nd year. I spent about 150 days in my camper last year using the unit. Now I will say this about water filters. When you're not using them, you can't just leave it in the system. Like, I can't leave it in my camper and go home for 6 months and come back. So what I do is I take these filters out, like the new ones I installed. When I go back home and I'm out of my camper, I'll take these filters back out, put them in a Ziploc bag, take them home and put them in my refrigerator. That just keeps them moist. Once you run water through these filters and then you set them out, and they'll dry out and then they'll have to be replaced. If you're using them constantly, like if you install this in your home, no worries. But like my application, it's in a fifth wheel camper. So when I'm not using the machine, I'm not in the camper living, I'll take those filters out, bring them home with me and store them. If you'd like to purchase one of these units, you can click the link below. There's several different models. This is the one I picked for my RV camper, but they have many other different models. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you in the next video.